Good morning. Good morning. See what we got to work with up here in the market. Check out some pre-market information. Hope all is well. It is Thursday morning, March the 7th. Come on, thingy. Work with me. Check out what happened yesterday in the market. What's happening in other markets around us. See what's. I wanted to add a new screen in here. Need to add a screen. There we go. And I need to insert an image. Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning. Here it is. Yepper. Here to see what's going on. Good morning. We got 3 folks hanging out with us this morning so far. We're about ready to go on and look at some screens and see what. Nope, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Giving YouTube and Facebook a chance to find all the people and let them know that we are here. We are here. We are here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on, fill in. The browser has blocked your screen. I don't know what that's all about. Click the screen icon in your address bar to allow access. Then reload the page. Not able to see. There we go. Okay. Let's try again. Try again to put our graphics and such into our reach. Need to be able to reach our stuff. Today's Thursday, ready for or Thrive Day. I've heard somebody call it Thrive Day. Basically, getting us right before the end of the week. And those of us who still have during the week work outside of the home, which you can work inside the house and never leave and still be working hard. But for those of us who work outside the house, we're coming up to the weekend. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Asleen. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Patrick. And hey, Mr. Earl. Hey, Mr. Earl. Good morning. All right. I think I'm ready to rock on now. So let's move ourselves forward. Let's move forward. Here we go. Alrighty. So this morning the VIX is at 14.35. It's up a little bit. There's a little bit of volatility or fear in the market as this kind of is a fear indicator, but seems like we're hanging out between 12 and 14 over the last several months. We've been in between 12 and 14. So this is like the norm at this point. It used to be a few years back when we would do this all the time. We were looking at like 8s and 9s, and not anymore. No more 8s and 9s. Powell faces tough balancing act in Congress. The Fed says politics plays no role in this policy, but lawmakers still keep asking about it. What to expect in Biden's State of the Union address. NYCB, the community bank, says it lost 7% of its deposits in 1 month. Yeah, folks is not necessarily putting their money into the bank. Not necessarily. MS warns Tesla could lose money this year. Warren Buffett says he wouldn't pay $25 for all the Bitcoin in the world. He considers crypto rat poison and warns, yada, yada. Now, I heard a guy, I think it was Tall Guy Tycoon, talking about, Warren Buffett is an older guy who kind of goes with more traditional means. He's not trying to get on board of a crypto type thing. But I did see that more recently he's selling and has sold a good chunk, a good little piece of chunk, several million, if not billion of their stock. He's selling a lot of the bigger dudes, the Amazon dude, Mark Zuckerberg, and a few others have put up have are really cashing out. I think the Walmart family have sold a bunch of their stock, and it's getting to show like a little bit of a trend. Okay, Dow futures is up 0.26%, S&P futures up 0.43%, and Nasdaq futures up 0.60%. All green over there. Oil and 10-year bonds are both red. Stock futures tick higher after major averages claw back some of this week's losses. Everything's green over in Europe. European markets move higher after ECB rate decision. Hugo Boss shares tank 18%. That's a no bueno. Over in Asia, we've got a 60-40 to the red. ASX and Kospi are both green. Nikkei, Hang Seng, and Shanghai are all red. Hang Seng has been struggling this week. They had a big red day a couple days ago too. This is in Hong Kong. Nikkei, I want to say, is Korea, and of course Shanghai is in China. That's what's going on with those. As far as our calendar goes, today's Thursday. Okay, we had some move. We had some things to results this morning. 7:30 Challenger job cuts year over year was 8.8%. Was negative 20%. Don't know about that, but unemployment claims has basically been steady, 217,000, 217,200. So basically, we're not getting any better, not getting any worse. Revised non-farm productivity 3.2, which is what it was last time. Unit labor cost is 0.4%. So it's red, but it seems like it's expected to be 0.7% and it's 0.4, so it's going in the wrong direction. Trade balance was supposed to be 63 billion or 64 billion. Now it's 67. So this probably is not a good thing. That's a B with a billion with a B. This is the no bueno with the B. 10 o'clock, we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking, or he's testifying again. Fed Chair Powell is testifying again this morning. Yesterday's testifying seemed like folks seem to enjoy that. I'm going to my YouTube channel so I can make sure to see any comments you all make. That's why I'm looking down. Yeah, Friday Eve, I like it. Today will be the first day I'm leaving my house since Sunday. You know, I when I worked from home, when I was in Bahrain, I would hardly ever leave home. And then when I did leave home, it was weird though, because when I would leave home, I would be so glad to be outside that I wouldn't want to come back. But then once I got inside, I didn't want to go anywhere again. So it was weird. But I don't have the benefit of that at this point any longer. I have to come out every day to come teach. Fridays I get to not do, so Fridays I pretty much don't go too much anywhere. Morning, Tanya. Don't go too much anywhere. Okay, so Powell is going to testify at 10 o'clock again this morning. I'll look at the chart here in a minute to see how yesterday panned out after he said whatever he said. Natural gas at 10:30. FOMC member Mester is speaking at 11:30, and consumer credit at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow, we're going to have some red folders, 8:30, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment, and unemployment rate. I thought we had unemployment rate up here. What did we just see was employment rate here? Unemployment claims, okay, is up, is today, and tomorrow is the unemployment rate, okay? Two different things. I do agree with that. Yesterday, SPX closed at 51.04, which was up 26. It did have a little bit. I felt like it closed at 51 higher than that the previous day, but let's see. We're looking at, let's go to SPX so we can see what SPX did yesterday. Why does that say February? I'm on the daily. Let me go to a 15-minute so I can see. So I can see what happened yesterday. This was yesterday. Started here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just in case y'all can't see that. Okay. Started up here. The gap got filled a little bit yesterday. This is the gap I put on here. It got filled some. It may even be filled a little more. Let's see. Oh, come on. There we go. Yep. This is the gap that was created yesterday morning when the market opened. So we had a big gap up. We pulled back a little bit, ran up some more. This was what, about 12 o'clock. We hit the top up here, hit our resistance up about 12 o'clock. And we tested it again, retest, and then came on down from there. Bump it, boom, and then came on down. And we came down back to the top of that gap. Well, now it's the top of the gap. We went into the gap some more than we had previously, and then it ran up a little bit. So we are currently at 51. Well, yesterday we closed at 51.04. That was yesterday. Yesterday. Okay. Um, yeah. But let's go look at the daily chart on SPX. This is what the daily looks like on SPX. Still got a gap between Monday and Tuesday. Got a gap there that needs filling. I wonder if I think this is the gap I just was working with. I y'all like this. Y'all said y'all like it when it's on the dark screen, but I feel like I can't see as much stuff when it's on the dark screen. That's a buyer's gap. That is, it's. And if you believe wicks fill, then the wick has filled it. But I'm a body filler. I feel like it hasn't filled until the body fills it. So at this point, this gap between 51.10 and 51.30 has not been filled yet. There's about a 20 point. This wick from yesterday did do some of the filling, but the body hadn't filled it yet. That was yesterday. Okay? It's been raining. And it's cold where you live too, Janae. Isn't it cold where you live? I don't like going outside in the cold. When I lived in China, I didn't realize till after the fact, but when I lived there and it got cold and the weather got really bad, I actually went into like a season-based depression because I had moved from Florida to China where the cold and the rain and it was constant. No matter where you went, it was cold because China is not built and insulated. Their buildings are not insulated like our buildings are here. So basically, however it feels on the outside, it's going to feel very close to that on the inside. You basically got to run heaters, and it just was relentless, and it was nonstop. It's like there was no relief. Like in Florida, it can get cold a day, then it's going to warm up, then it's going to cold a little bit, and it's going to warm up. It wasn't happening. It was cold every day, all day, no matter where you were in the day. It was cold everywhere you went, and it was unbearable. So anyway, be mindful of your mental health in the cold weather. Janae says, actually, it's better on your other screen, so you can go back to the light if you like. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Our earnings for last night was Victoria's Secrets, Triple Point, Inovio, Honest. A lot of people we don't know. Emergent. This morning, though, we had Kroger or K. Roger. Y'all heard my joke the other day. Burlington, Big Lots, American Eagle, BJ's. That was all this morning. Billy, PaySafe, Bitfarms. Today, after market closes, we're going to have Broadcom and Costco and Marvel or Marvell, however you pronounce it. DocuSign is their Gap. Petrobras. Sounds like that's from another country. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to have Algonquin, America's Carmart, Genesco, Biopath, NCS, Multistage, and Silvercrest. That's what's happening tomorrow. Let's look at Adam's number. Adam's numbers. After yesterday's squeeze to 51.22 plus target, SPX spent the day ping-ponging the range between 50.90, 51.22, building a new base. Overnight, saw a quick liquidity gap and ran back to target again. Okay. Plan 51.86 to 51.24 is the chop range, which basically means there's a lot happening in there. 51.15 to 51.02 are supports. It keeps 51.26 and 51.34 plus alive, and we're going to dip only if the price gets down below 50.86. We dip only if price gets below 50.86. Okay. Got that. We got that. I think I'm going to stop putting it in there because there's no need. Okay, take a check at our list, right? We've got our options trading list. I may go through this list sometime today and see which of these are actually um, showing up as profitable so far. But today's Thursday. Thursday's a good day to get in on some of these trades. See if there's, because you can get in today and get out tomorrow. Okay. How you say tomorrow in Spanish? Can't remember. Anyway, if you know, put it in the chat if you know how to say tomorrow in Spanish. Good morning, Tamar. T triple Q is always of interest. I was interested in, I think we looked at the U Pro Exxon we've talked about a couple of times. Taiwan Semiconductors. Can we look at RCL? Mañana. There we go. I knew it. Amazon is on here. Apple is on here. Okay. That's why you say mañana. Yeah. Ah. Gracias, mi amigas. Appreciate you. Okay. Y'all know we've got our 3-day challenge, our 3-day options 411 for newbies challenge coming up. It's going to be next week. I'm going to put on here, this is a quick list of what is going to be included on each of the days. So if you're thinking, I don't know, what are we going to do on a 3-day challenge? What's it going to include, right? I want you to see that this challenge includes some goodies, right? Day one, we're going to do introductions, got to meet the people, see how everybody's doing, right? I guess you can change it to this. Why should we use options, basic information and terminology, and what you need to be able to trade options? Because it's, you can have a broker, but if you have a broker and you're not covered for options, then we have to do some stuff. On day two, we're going to talk about brokers and account specifics, some charting and technical analysis, and how do we use options for passive versus active trading? Because there's passive ways to use options and there's active ways to use options. And then on the third day, we're going to talk about selling versus buying options. How do we trade options for weekly income? And we're going to provide a quick start guide. Okay, this is going to be our 3. If you're wanting to join on to the options 411 3-day challenge, you should go over to my website, Educator. I think it's running along the bottom to register for the options 411 challenge. I sent an email out yesterday. I sure hope everyone got it in my community. It basically talked about the options 411 challenge and what is coming up, what will it include, and what will it lead to after we come out of there. What will it lead to? Okay, I don't want to go there just yet. Let's go look at some charts. I'll remove this from the screen. Share screen. I think I saw RCL and GLD. Oh goodness, way too many things. Royal Caribbean. I like Royal Caribbean as a cruise line. I've done Carnival and I've done Royal Caribbean. I think I like Royal Caribbean the best, even though Carnival seemed like it had more activities on a Carnival boat than it did on Royal Caribbean. But it's been a long time since I did Royal Caribbean, so I can say that, but it could be that it's been a while. And now that, it's been, if I went to go now, I probably would have a different experience. I was much younger when I did it. Not much younger. I was younger though. When did I do that? I was probably, it was a while back. Too long ago to remember. Do you remember? Okay, so this is the daily chart. We've got a little bit of a gap here. Let me see if I can turn it back to light. Color theme, light. There we go. Da, 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 da. Let there be light. Let there be light. Okay, I'm going to change. This is going to be, okay. There's a gap here now that's not very clear. Ooh, I need a color. There we go. I need to change the color so we can see what's going on. Let me get us can we do purple? Nope, don't want purple because that's the same color for, there we go. Maybe a little bit darker. This is a gap. Alrighty, so on the white, it'll show up on the black screen. It, of course, will not. That's a buyer's gap that we're under. If we're looking for our supports are probably going to be right in here. Right, support would be this went up and kind of went over and then went up again. That's going to be our support. And it shows up here was resistance back here, but now it's going to be support. That's 124.49. If we're looking at resistance, I would go with this one here. 130 is probably resistance. There's one just here too, which is right in the middle of this candle. There's a resistance on top of a resistance. I guess if you went right in, right where we are right now, 128 is also resistance. So if I was looking at this for tomorrow, honestly, you might be able to do an iron condor, because if you could get just above this 130, which current price is 128, if you could get above this 130, right? Let me put here. These are not investment advice, but I want you to see that this could possibly be something you could possibly do. CCS above the one at or above 130. And then you could potentially do a PCS. Again, not investment advice, just me showing you what I see. And at or below 124. You may be able to get a little closer within these numbers. If you look at probability out of the money, you probably can get a little closer, because 4 points below here may or may not. Royal Caribbean, I'm not sure how much it moves per day. You may be able to get in here where at 125 at or below. Oh, come on. Let me type. 125 may also work for you, because there's some support right in here. So you could, you may be able to get in on one of those. Okay. Looking at Royal Caribbean, if you're looking at it for the day. And if you're looking at it for the day, you can also, if you're only doing one day, you can also take this down to maybe a 4-hour chart. And that way you can get a little more defined resistance, support, and resistance zones. I do see that this whole red area here is resistance, and the top of this zone is 129. So that's why I said you could probably go with 130 and end up with some be okay. Okay. Let's see, GLD. Looking at gold. Gold is at the top of its resistance, or it was. It kind of hit it and came back down. There, we do have several gaps that we can look at on gold. There's one there. I think I may make this a little more opaque. That seems to be a little dark. Let's make it kind of gray. Yeah, it's a little dark when it's not. There we go. Got some gaps there that will provide support, right? Those are going to provide some support. So if I was looking, because gold has been going up, I probably would just do put credit spread. But because it's at this, top of this resistance, you really may, let me see if there's some more back here. You really may be able to do an iron condor there as well, because you don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time left on the trade. Looking for some resistance back there, but I don't see any. So potentially 200 is probably going to be, and it probably is already, a resistance area, because of the fact that it's one of those psychological numbers. But look at your probability out of the money. I would probably do the put credit spread first, right? Again, I say this over and over, not investment advice, not financial advice. CCS above 200, and then I probably would go with below the bottom of this 197. No, I want text. PCS at below. Now y'all know how to use, right? You know how to use our probability out of the money. We spend a lot of time learning that. So definitely use that. Use your plus or minus number. Help you to see which things you're interested in. I would go with gold. I probably would do the put credit spread first, and because you got the upward trend going, keeping in mind that it is at premium area, so it definitely could pull back a little bit, right? Yeah, it could pull back some. So you just want to be sure that you're comfortable with a strike on the bottom side that you're okay with. Okay. We looked at Royal Caribbean. We looked at gold. Who did we say just had earnings that I was going to look at? Okay, I'll stop sharing while I go look. Kroger had earnings this morning. We can go look at that. Costco has it after. I think folks are probably waiting on Costco. There's Kroger. Let's see what happened in the pre-market. This is what happened on earnings. Their earnings was reported right in here, right? So they did a pop up. They've come back down. Partway into this, it's going to be support. The middle of that gap is going to be support. So 5202 potentially be support if you want to go with that. But it seemed to hit this resistance and pull back pretty quick, which I think is interesting. That it basically popped right to 53 and pulled back. So let's see what the daily looks like on Kroger. Market's getting ready to open in a couple of minutes. Yep, I would look at this. The bottom of today's this isn't today's, yesterday's candle. This same area looks like it would be a let me change this to a line. Yeah. That's not really a good chair, to be honest. But there's support here at $49. So looking for, potential, make sure that you look at your what's that thing? Probability out of the money. PCS at below 49, right? It could be right there. We've got, and then I'd wait to see what happens today because they just had their earnings. You may be a little bit of a momentum ride, but you want to see might be good to get if you're going to do something. Because earlier in the day, because the volatility will still be up a little bit, you might be able to get a little bit of premiums, but just know IV crush is going to happen, which will actually be a good thing because once if the premiums are up and then the IV shrinks really fast, then what you might have got in for whatever amount of money, if it shrinks, then it'll be worth less and you can get out for less money than you entered the trade. Okay, we talked about Kroger, we talked about RCL, and we talked about gold. Let's go see what SPX getting ready to do. We can do a quick look at spot. Oh, it's 350. It's 929 at this point. Changing this to my gray color so I can see. These are the little small gaps. See if we're going to get a gap up open again today. We should be having, I don't have Thinkorswim open, so I'm not going to hear the bell. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Y'all up there where it's cold up north, and we down here with the ice cream truck riding around at 7 or 8 o'clock at night with a full load of people outside at the ice cream truck. Like, it's first of all, I guess that is the time to buy ice cream at 8 o'clock at night. Usually you'd think the ice cream man would be out like during the day, but ice cream truck was out the other night in my neighborhood. It was almost 8 o'clock. And he was there for a while because even after I went in the house, I could still hear his little bell ringing. So it looks like we opened, this is SPY. Let's move to SPX. Looks like we opened at above this little gap from the other day, but we opened at 51.32. So this same gap, it opened just above that gap. this morning. Gold is a 50 spread, a 50-cent spread. Hmm, 50-cent spread would work. Get a little bit off, get a little gold off it. It's only $50. I mean, it was the stock was 50. Was it 50? About $50, something like that. Okay, that's what's going on so far with SPX. First candle is showing red at this point. Got some resistance up here at 51.49. That was the high from the 4th of March, a few days back. Monday was the 4th of March. Okay, take a check, see what's going on. Alrighty. I'm giving a test to my pre-calculus darlings this morning. Let's see how that's gonna go, how that plays through. The children. I could try to open my Thinkorswim right now, but it would take forever because it's running so much other stuff. It ain't gonna want to do right. Okay, let's see where we are here. E2T membership still going all the time, all the time. We pull in our members. We help, we support, we make sure that we get training. Last night we did a training on investing from a passive standpoint all the way up to very active. We went through, what are passive ways to invest, which includes index funds, ETFs, and REITs even fell into. About midway through was the REITs. Dividend stocks was toward the bottom way of more passive. And then active trading, of course, is day trading. But I was surprised to find that the most active trading is actually stock trading, not options. So if you're trading stock, like you're waiting for a pop and you're opening and closing just stocks and shares, that's the most active trading. I thought that was very interesting. But we did that last night on our Wednesday training call. We have our weekly calls, and then we have our monthly coaching calls, first week of the month, first Saturday of the month. We have a Telegram where we hang out. We have basically all the things. And if you're part of the membership, you get to be a part of all the other things that I do. Like I'm getting ready to do this challenge. If you're in the membership, you're automatically in the challenge for no extra money. When I do after the challenge, I'm going to do the 6 weeks of coaching, and the people in my membership will automatically be inside of the coaching. We got the Option Sellers course bundle, includes all the stuff I teach. All the seller strategies are here. You can grab hold to that there for $4.97. Okay. Our declaration for the morning. If we don't have anything else, let me see. Do we have anything else that needs to be discussed for the day? It's weird when I can, when you're on the camera, you look at yourself. It looks like I have a bunch of gray hair, which I like that, right? I'm showing my wisdom, but really all the rest of my hair is this color. So when it's in the back, it looks like I got like a gray afro. But then when I pull it to the front, you're like, she's got plenty of hair. I actually got plenty of hair. It's long. I told y'all about the girl who I asked to do my hair, and the first time she did my hair, she quoted me a price. I think it might have been like $60. And I don't think she knew how long my hair was. And that just kind of let me know that she hadn't been doing hair very long. So she did it, took her a long time. And I gave her a really nice tip because I knew I'm a hairstylist too. I knew she didn't know how much it was going to take, like how long it was going to take. And she didn't ask the question of how long was my hair. So the next time though, she lives in my neighborhood. The next time though, I reached out to her to do my hair, she quoted me like 150. Sis, I mean, she's like 17 years old. And we're doing hair. And I don't have a problem with doing hair at home because I've done hair at home. I did hair at home for a long time. I needed to come with my hair washed. I had to do all the stuff basically. And she was just going to style it. And she was like 150. And I was like, okay, now I realized that we needed to take up the price from the $65 because that was a bit low. But 2.5 times as much, I'm going to go with no. And it wasn't even the money for me. It was more like I don't know, maybe somebody was coaching her, and maybe she's getting that for other people. So I just was like, okay, well, because it costs what it costs. Things cost what they cost. So you have the people have the right to say yes or to say no. It costs what it costs. It's your price. So I told her, I did tell her though, I said, well, I feel like the cost you're quoting me would include things like you washing it, you putting on some conditioner. I mean, this would include some extra things. 150 doesn't include just styling my hair. No, what? That's all. So she replied back, and very politely, she said all she said was like okay or all right, something like that. She was like all right. She didn't change that price though. I was like, okay, listen, just like I told you about them nail people who all up and down the road, there's hairstylists all up and down the road too. There's a lot of lock stylists, especially here in Jacksonville, because a lot of people have locks. I can get, like Michelle is saying, I could get my hair done in the salon and get all the things I just mentioned. Um, yeah. Look, Tanya says, if you're not washing, you're not my stylist. The only problem I run into though when I go to the salon is I go and I want it styled, right? So I go, I sit, they do all the stuff. Then after it's styled or put up or whatever it gets done, after like about 3 or 4 days, I want it back down. So it's like, I should have just not done it. But then when I want it done, like I want it done, and I want it done like the same day or like the next day. I don't want to say I want it done and then have to wait 2 weeks to get it done. And now there's a lot of salons that are doing you have to you have to, sign in and book in with their appointment setting stuff and then pay a deposit, which I understand why they do all that stuff. I get it. It's just, I got to find a spot and la la. So y'all see, it's nothing done. I got a ponytail. That's what's happening here is there's a ponytail. That's as good as it's going to get for now. Michelle says, I rarely get styles. I get two strand twists or plaits. I think I would do that too. But even when I had the actual girl I'm talking about, she did the two strand twist and they didn't hold up very well. Because again, I think she was new. She was, learning, which I'm all for that because I mean, everybody's got to learn. They got to start where they are. So I wasn't bothered by it. I usually don't use any products on my hair either. I don't put gels or anything like that on my hair. And of course, when you go to the stylist, they do because they want it to lay down and be nice. And it's nice, but then it's nice until that stuff starts to decide it's not nice anymore. Then you gotta pretty much wash it to get all that stuff out. So I don't have all the gunk in my hair. But then, gray hairs don't like they're disrespectful. Gray hair is disrespectful, in case you didn't know. It doesn't want to lay right. It doesn't want to stay inside the lock. It doesn't want to do right. So that's why I'm not fighting with it no more. Just gonna leave it like it is. Okay, now that I've taken y'all down my hairstyling rabbit hole, we can go to wrapping up. Our trader's declaration. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My accounts grow more and more each week. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. Please show me, Michelle. Michelle says I'll show you what my stylist uses. It's not heavy at all. I can't do the heavy stuff and none of that. And Tanya says very disrespectful. Yeah. Show me what you got, Michelle. I'd like to see it. Daily prayer. Lord, it is you who gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war with the purpose of establishing your kingdom. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically in order to fulfill this purpose. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. All righty, you all. I really want you all to be very mindful of your trades, be mindful of what's happening in the market as you make moves. Okay. Um, we do two things here. We stay green and we get this money, right? I want you to have a great green day and I will see you in the market. If you're in my community, you can find me in the Telegram. All right. Talk to y'all later. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.